G'day Internet, welcome back to another video, and Septandy. Just. In this video I want to cover off something I've actually wanted to cover since last Septandy. If you remember a Coco 3 video I did, I featured a couple of indie games by Nick Marentes, an Australian Coco games developer. And it kind of got me thinking at the time that there is actually quite a vibrant homebrew and indie development community out there for the Coco. Now, I know that the C64 and everything else always gets the highlights with new games that come out, but the Coco is not to be left behind. So in this video, we've got a range of games. We have some modern ports of classic games. We have some fresh new ideas. We also have some games not just for a maxed out Coco 3, but also for some fairly basic Coco 1 and 2s as well. And when we get to those games, I make sure I'll put something somewhere so you know when you look at it and kind of go, that doesn't look right, it's for a Coco 1. So with no more messing around, let's get into it. And we are going to start with a couple of modern ports. So, like I said, first up is a couple of modern ports from Glenn Hewlett. The first one is Defender, which surprisingly enough never actually got an official port to the Coco until now. Now, be forewarned that I am terrible at Defender, primarily because of the way the controls work. You don't really have a back and a forth. You have a thrust and then like a reverse turnaround, and then you go slide, keep on sliding, so on and so forth. I'm terrible at it, which, by the way, will be a running theme throughout this entire video. But anyway, let's take a look. Now, the graphics on this are very nice. It's simple, but then again, Defender doesn't have to be too complicated, let's be honest. It's a pretty simple game to begin with. But the details are nice and fine. I think it's laid out really well. The controls are responsive, if you actually know what you're kind of doing. But all in all, I think it's an awesome port of Defender, assuming you can actually play it. Next up is another modern port, also by Glenn. It is Joust, a game I never actually played as a kid, so this should be interesting. So Joust is obviously an arcade game from Williams from 1982. And I've got to say, this is actually a pretty reasonable rendition of that game. Now, if you know Joust, you'll know that you do ride an ostrich, and the point is you flap around and try and take out the bad guys who are riding buzzards. It's obviously not a game I'm overly familiar with, however, I am well aware that it is a classic. Yeah, I'm officially terrible at it. So the next couple of games we have Nick Marentes back, and he's been busy on the Coco 1 and 2. We have Pipes and we have Rally SG. Now, before you judge these, you've got to remember Pipes at least is designed for a 16K Coco 1, while for Rally SG you do need 64K, but most Coco 1s have been upgraded to that by now. Now, this is a kind of puzzle game, I guess is probably the best way of describing it. And the idea, I believe, is to kind of build some pipes before that red line runs out. So when this overflows, the water flows kind of as far as it can, and now I've kind of snookered myself. That's not going to go anywhere. And you've got a little bit of time as the water does flow. I guess I could just throw that away over the... What? No. Oh, okay. Ah, you can overlay. I didn't actually realise that. So that's a bit of a nothing piece. That's a bit of a nothing piece. Ah, I'm running out. No, I thought that was a different piece. Right. No. No. I actually did better that time than when I was trying to play it before. So this is Rally SG, which is a kind of cool little top-down racer. And... no! I should also like to point out that I am actually trying to play this with the official TRS-80 Deluxe joystick. And if you've ever used a Tandy Deluxe joystick, you will know what I'm talking about. No. Come on, I want that. Yes. It's obviously graphically a very simple game, but honestly, it's really, really fun. Come on. He's on my tail. It's kind of Pac-Man-ish in the sense that you need to... And I ran straight into him. You need to pick up little dots. But I've got to hand it to Nick. It's kind of nice to see the original Coco 1 getting a bit of love, knowing that you don't have to have a spec'd out Coco 3 to enjoy some of the new games. So this is Digger 3, The Saints Ascension by Hypertech Gaming. And this is a beautifully drawn game. It is essentially Lode Runner, but instead of Lode Runner, which is just a single screen, it pans and moves and scrolls around the place. So the actual play field is a lot bigger. Graphically, this game, I think, is really well done. It's really well drawn. I think there's just the right amount of detail. The graphics are nice and colourful. I always think the Coco 3 actually has a really good colour palette, and it's used really well in this game. All the scrolling is nice and smooth. You don't really feel like you're ever out of control. And all in all, I think it's just a really nice game. I seem to be getting followed around by some baldy fat men. And make whatever comment you'd like on that. Ooh, that was close. There can't be too much more oh, wait, there's one more. There can't be too much more gold. How do you actually finish this game? So there we go. There is a quick look at some indie/homebrew games that have come out over the last 12 months. And there is some fantastic games in there. Personally, Digger 3 is my favourite. It's the one I actually played the most, even when the camera wasn't rolling. Joust and Defender are two games that I simply struggle with, but if you're a fan of those games, I'm absolutely positive you would love these versions. There was also a couple of games that seem to run fine in an emulator that I simply can't get to work on here. One is Donkey Kong Remix, which is a modern port, obviously, of Donkey Kong, which looks like a fantastic game. I'll put some footage up here somewhere, but it would not run. Now, speaking of upcoming games, Nick Marentes is actually working on a new one as we speak called Zero Hour. I'll put some footage up here that he sent me. And also Jay Searle, I think his name is, from the Coco user group on Facebook, is actually working on a port of Petsky Robots, because I'm pretty convinced that David's game is going to become the modern version of Arkanoid in the sense that it's been ported to every platform under the sun. Speaking of the Facebook group, again, link in the description. Massive thank you to them when I was having some issues last night with my Coco SDC. But not only that, I simply posted up just going, hey, I've been a little out of the loop lately. What's some cool new games? And they're the games that you see here. But for now, that will pretty much do it. If you like the video, click like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. If you'd like to see more Septandy content, you can search for the hashtag on YouTube. And if you would like to support the channel, I am now on Patreon, just like these wonderful people just here. But for now, I will see you in the next one.